Audit versus review. Assurance. In audit, we give reasonable assurance, that is high degree of assurance. In review, we give limited assurance. Extent of checking. In audit, we do test checking, that is adequate coverage of checking. In review, we do less than audit checking. Next, wording. Audit is positively worded, whereas review is negatively worded. Objective. In audit objective is to form an audit opinion. Review objective is to give review conclusion. Procedures. SA 500 procedures are used in case of audit. In case of review, inquiry and analytical procedures are used. In review, we do not do inspection. Standards. SA 202, SA 800 is applicable to audit, whereas in case of review, SRE 2400 series plus SQC 1 is applicable. In case of audit also SQC 1 is applicable. In case of review also, SQC 1 is applicable. In both the cases, SQC 1 is applicable. Language of reporting. In case of audit, as per the information and explanation obtained by us, we report. In case of a review, the language is nothing has come to the practitioner's knowledge, which makes him believe that financial statements are not true and fair view. Next, in case of audit, the evidence is sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. In case of review, the evidence is sufficient and appropriate evidence. Audit will be addressed to shareholders. In case of review, we will address to board of directors. Departure from financial reporting framework. In case of audit, if there is any departure, then we will give qualified or adverse opinion. In case of review, if there is any departure, we will give qualified or adverse conclusion. Next, a limitation on scope. If there is any limitation on scope in case of audit, we will give qualified or disclaimer opinion. In case of limitation on scope, in case of review, we will give qualified or disclaimer conclusion. SRE 2400 series. There are two SREs, SRE 2400, SRE 2410. SRE 2400 is applicable to review of historical financial statements. SRE 2410 is applicable to a review of interim financial statements. Who does review? In case of SRE 2400, independent practitioner who is not a statutory auditor will do the review. In case of SRE 2410, statutory auditor will do the review. In case of SRE 2400, the assurance is a limited assurance. In case of SRE 2410 also, the assurance will be limited assurance. So in both the cases, the assurance is a limited assurance. Wordings. In both the cases, the wordings will be negative wordings. Procedures. In both the cases, the procedures are inquiry and analytical procedure, except inspection. Next, is SRE 2400 is mandatory? No, but SRE 2410 is mandatory. Next, in case of listed companies, quarterly financial results will be there. Such results shall be approved by board of directors before submitting them to stock exchange within 45 days from the end of each quarter. Review shall be done instead of audit. In such a case, a limited review shall be done on quarterly basis by CA in practice. If the limited review is done by statutory auditor, SRE 2410 is applicable. If the limited review is done by other auditor, SRE 2400 applies. For unlisted companies, review also applies depending upon the criteria. Applicable financial reporting framework for interim financial statements. In such a case, Ind AS 34 or AS 25 applies.